Navigating our emotions allows us to take control of our reality, allows us to clean off our glasses and open our eyes so we can see with clarity. Oftentimes, we allow ourselves to become so attached to our emotions, we don't even realize what version of ourselves are activated. To give you an example, oftentimes when we're angry, we say things quicker. We say things that we wouldn't normally say because we are angry. So we are allowing that angry version of ourselves to maybe try to guilt trip someone, maybe try to make someone feel as bad as you currently feel, maybe try to trigger an angry response out of someone. And oftentimes it's a defense mechanism, especially in the angry state. However, this applies to every single emotion. When you're happy, it is much easier for you to say yes to something you normally wouldn't say yes to just because you are in an abundant state. So detaching from our emotions allows us to realize that they aren't as in control as we are allowing them to be. We often don't realize that understanding our emotions and then being able to manage our emotions are subjects that need to be learned just as math or science or history. You need to understand what emotions we have as humans, what reactions do they cause as they appear in our lives, and then how to mitigate losing control, right? There are a lot of practices you can take, meditation definitely being number one. Really allowing yourself to realize that the voice inside of our head isn't necessarily who we are, isn't necessarily something that has to be reacted on immediately. We don't realize that every time a thought pops into our head and we immediately take action to that thought, we are in real time training ourselves to become attached to that thought, to become attached to that emotion. And it works equally the same with training ourselves to become detached from that voice, to become detached from our emotions by allowing them to fade, to pass like a cloud rather than trying to grasp onto every single one. The more you allow yourself to see that, oh, I was just thinking that emotion. I was just feeling that emotion, but that doesn't necessarily mean I have to grasp a hold of it and act out in a certain way through that emotion. The more you can realize that you are in more control than you've been allowing yourself to be. And how does this really benefit you? Why do you want to be in control of your emotions? Well, you want to be in control of your emotions, piggybacking off the first example that I used in the beginning of this video, is anger. If you are constantly being triggered in an angry state, you will constantly be manipulated by individuals who can trigger that angry state. Most people have a threshold of their emotions. If you have a low tolerance for anger, you have a high tolerance to lash out unnecessarily. You have a higher likelihood of not comprehending what another individual is stating in reality because you already have a perception of what they're going to say or what they're saying because you are allowing the anger to dictate what you hear. And that goes for every other emotion. Once you are in an emotional state, you are now hearing from the perception that you want to hear or you are currently unconsciously hearing. So once you understand and become in control of your emotions, you start to disconnect from the voice and you start to disconnect from the emotions and you start to become in reality. You start to become more in your body. You start to understand things for what they are, not what you think or you perceive them to be. And this will take you so far in life, because if you can take what someone is saying from their perspective, which is even a whole nother level, if you can eventually get to the point where you're taking people's perspective of life from their perspective beyond just what you think it is, beyond what you feel it is, then now you are being able to play the game of life correctly. Now you understand what each piece on the chessboard is utilized for, so you can make the appropriate move instead of just picking up a piece and trying to move it hoping that it's the best move to make, right? So I will be able to go so much deeper, or I'll be able to reiterate some parts better if needed. However, thank you so much for spending your time here with me today, trying to better yourself. Make sure take as best care as yourself, and understanding that this is a lifelong learning game. Do not beat yourself up for the lack of information you have been provided in your earlier ages. Just thank yourself for being here, trying your best to have a healthier, better version of yourself. I will see you on the next video, and enjoy the rest of your day.